here again. Today we are going to do a ranking for Friday the 13th, and we're going to do the top 10 kills in the franchise. I was originally going to call it top 10 Jason kills, but as you'll see, there's a couple that fall in there that were done by someone besides Jason. So a little bit about Friday the 13th. Obviously, if you're watching this video, I assume you have some base knowledge of the franchise. But this franchise has a lot of kills, and I mean a lot. There's about 180 people killed, give or take, in this franchise in the 12 movies. For those of you that are not math whizzes, that averages out to probably about 15 per installment. So there's a lot to dissect, a lot to go through. We're going to get to my top 10 favorites. Most of my favorites you'll see come from the first 4 movies. I consider them kind of the peak of the franchise to me. A lot of people do. After that, it gets a little cheesy. There are a couple kills from later in the franchise that I have in here, but most of it falls within the first 4 movies. We're going to start at number 10. It's going to be from the OG, Friday the 13th, 1980, and it's going to be Marcy, who is killed with an axe to the face by Mrs. Voorhees, who you don't actually see in the movie. The reason this kill is in my top 10 is just because of the kind of the ominous feeling of the kill. You have Marcy going through the shower. She thinks someone's kind of fucking with her, and she opens up the curtain. No one's there. Opens up another curtain. No one's there. You see a shadow. You see the axe rise in a shadow in the back, and then she turns around and there's the axe right to the face. And obviously Tom Savini's makeup work here is just fantastic. No one had ever seen anything like that at the time. So that's why it falls in at number 10 to me. Number 9, next up, will be Nurse Morgan from Friday the 13th, the final chapter. So even though this is number 9, this is probably the most cringe-worthy kill on the list to me, and I don't really know why. It's something about it is just so unsettling. If you remember, right after Jason kills Axel, after getting out of the morgue, the nurse is kind of in the supply closet, and Jason throws her up against the wall and sticks a knife right in her chest, and then they kind of have the knife go all the way down to her stomach, and it's just very unsettling to me. It looks very painful. She looks like she's alive during the whole thing, and it's just a really creepy and cringeworthy kill. So it falls in at number 9 on my list. At number 8, we finally got one from one of the newer ones. This is going to be Adrian from Jason X. Everyone remembers this kill, right? The liquid nitrogen face smash. So Jason wakes up from his, I guess you would call it, hibernation for a few hundred years, sees Adrian, one of the female scientists there, grabs her, dips her face in the liquid nitrogen and smashes her face down, and then you kind of see her face halfway to pieces. This is probably on most people's list. A lot of people I see it at in the top 3. For me, I can't have it any higher than 8 just because of Jason X being a shitty movie. Number 7, another newer one, the newest one on my list actually, is going to be the sleeping bag kill. Not the one from New Blood in 1988, but the one from the remake. If you remember this, the first 15 minutes of this film are just superb, but this kill is one of the craziest kills you'll ever see in a horror movie. I can't remember her name, but Jason puts her in the sleeping bag and ties it with rope, and it's just hanging above the fire, and she's both suffocating and burning to death in her sleeping bag at the time, while her boyfriend is caught in a bear trap trying to reach out and help her, and he can't. It's just a kill that would make anyone, cringe. At number 6, going back to the final chapter, is Paul from the final chapter. This is when he gets the harpoon gun to the groin, and Jason lifts him up and throws him into the lake. So this kill, it's got great atmosphere. Paul's swimming out to see Samantha, I think her name is, on the raft, who was already killed. Finds her body on the raft when Jason stabbed her underneath. Is swimming to shore all frantically, and Jason's there waiting for him. Lifts the harpoon gun, gets him right in the groin, throws him up, and it's just with the atmosphere of the lake and the fog, it's just an awesome kill. At number 5, top 5 people, we have Jack, aka Kevin Bacon from the OG again in 1980. Just the classic kill. Jack's laying in bed, smoking a cigarette after having sex with Marcy. He kind of feels a drop of blood. I think he feels a drop of blood from Ned, who's up in the bunk above him. Anyway, he kind of feels a drop of blood or something, and then Mrs. Voorhees grabs him by, I think she grabs him by the forehead, and you see the arrow just come through his throat, and the arrow's kind of twisted and blood's curdling up. Just an awesome kill. Once again, Tom Savini just on his game. No one had ever seen anything like this before. So it's just was a crazy kill, caught you off guard. Number 4, we got Vera from part 3 with the harpoon gun to the eye. So many things we can talk about with this kill. Jason comes strolling out as Vera is in the lake picking up Shelly's wallet. Jason comes strolling out. First time you ever see him in the hockey mask. She thinks it's Shelly. Says, "Hey, I dropped your wallet. I got it." And then she kind of looks at him and says, "Who are you?" And Jason just points the harpoon gun at him. He's kind of standing behind a log or something like that. Points the harpoon gun at her, shoots it right at the camera because it's in 3D, and boom, it goes right into her eye. And the best part of this kill is Jason kind of tosses the harpoon gun down, turns and looks at the house, and starts walking in the house to kill some more. It's the first time you ever see Jason look like he's having fun. Richard Brooker, who played Jason, just had some grace about him. He was a former trapeze artist. Just the way he played that with Jason. He didn't say a word. He didn't really do much except for point the harpoon gun, toss it down. It told you everything you needed to know about Jason's personality without even speaking. So, top 3. We have one from part 2, one from part 3, and one from part 4 in here. And we're going to start at part 4 with Jimmy, aka Crispin Glover, the corkscrew to the hand, cleaver to the face. Jimmy just gets done having sex with one of the twins, goes down to celebrate, looking for the corkscrew. Where the hell's the corkscrew, I think he says. And boom, right when he says that, Jason smashes the corkscrew right in his hand. As he turns around in shock to see what happened, Jason takes a cleaver, boom, right to the face. Just quick, brutal, and you don't even know what hit you. Just an awesome kill. Number 2, we're going to go to Friday the 13th, part 2 from 1981, and Mark the wheelchair kill. Just one of the most iconic kills of the franchise. Mark's sitting on the porch, once again waiting for a girl to get laid. Got a theme here, huh? But he's waiting for the girl who went to go freshen up. He's just standing there, and you got kind of a little bit of low music playing, and then boom, machete right to the face. Not only does it cross his face like that, his wheelchair goes flying down the longest stairs I've ever seen. It's just an awesome kill, and it kind of showed you this movie, Jason, who you don't even know who it is at the time, isn't fucking around. So, down to the top kill now. Andy from part 3. This is, my second or third from part 3 on the franchise, so you know how I feel about this movie. But Andy, this is right after Vera, who was number 4 on my list. He's walking on his hands, which you saw him do about 3 or 4 times throughout this movie. Very annoying. But he's walking on his hands, asking his girlfriend, can't remember her name, Tracy Savage's character, asking if she wants a beer. She's in the shower, so she can't hear anything. He's walking on his hands, and right when he turns the corner, you see Jason standing there with a machete. And right when he looks up, he sees Jason grab the machete and swipe down at him, and he splits him right in half, right in the crotch. Just probably the most brutal kill I've ever seen. Jason basically splits him in half, and because it was in 3D, which I wish I would have seen at the time, it just had to be even more epic. So those are my kills for the Friday the 13th franchise. Once again, I said that parts 1 through 4 are the most represented on my list because those are the best movies of the franchise, in my humble opinion. So feel free to tell me if you agree, disagree, or let me know what you think. Thanks.